Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on the Movies, and today we are reviewing
Fear Street,
the latest episode of Fear Factor, House of Fear. And it's episode 6, so I think there's only 2 more after this.
Huh?
And
No, there's 4.
There's 4 more.
Yes, Safi.
Okay.
You knew
And,
that, didn't you?
Anyway, the title of it is Pain Auction, and it equals 24 hours of pain. And they're not kidding. And it just starts off the next day. Well, before that, the night before, they get to go to that reveal room, every one of them. So we're not having certain people do one thing and certain people not be left out. Everybody got to see what was going on. And they just showed him eating and the things and snakes and all kind, like a montage of weird things. And so the next day a bus comes to pick him up with the words Fear Factor on them. And they go out to they called it a mining facility. I don't know how they determined that, but the contestants, but I couldn't tell that. And I thought that was interesting because, what's his name? The one contestant is a miner.
The one contestant?
Zach.
Who's that?
Zach.
Zach?
That, I would say, of all the reality TV I have ever watched, I don't think they've ever had a miner.
This is
of them.
It's really interesting, guys. I just want you guys to finally know the reality is that really what happens a lot of the times is that Safi will either repeat something that I said before the review because I'm the one who said that, or she'll listen to me talk in a review and then she won't say anything, and then after the review she'll say everything that I said and then she agreed with it.
Well, I don't think he said anything about this building. Somebody else in the group said it. I don't think he said a word.
What do you mean?
He was being very quiet after last week.
I'm talking about how I'm the one who said about him being a
miner. I know you
miner.
are, but I'm saying in the show itself, he didn't say this.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't hear him. I heard somebody else doing it.
He's talked about being a miner before.
No, I'm talking about the building.
Who cares?
Oh, God. Well, it just looked weird. Okay.
Okay, so anyways, now I'm going to do a review. Safi really built up this episode like it was like they were committing like a Holocaust or something. I mean, it was really bizarre. She was like, Marco, I barely survived Fear Factor. It was so gross.
It was
and
awful.
It was so scary.
I had a stomachache
People
afterwards.
were
I was about to throw up.
Everyone was suffering.
I had a stomachache for hours.
I did. Oh, you guys, you reminded me of Fear Factor. Oh, Marco, don't remind me of the show we're supposed to review. And so then I watched it and I was like, oh, wow. You know what?
I don't believe it.
There was one challenge that was bad, but for the most part, these challenges seemed kind of like light work. And not light work for me, but light work for people who wanted to be on the show. Like getting electrocuted, sticking your tongue in a bug zapper, getting bitten by a snake. I would get bitten by a snake for free. I mean, some people say snakes heal you, because you... I'm just kidding.
Okay, Barbie.
I'm just kidding.
Bobby Kennedy. I guess that'll be the next thing that he's gonna support.
Snakes have this oil in them, and it's called snake oil. And some people say it heals you. But I liked the episode because it felt like the old Fear Factor show. It felt like everyone had to do something.
Yeah, nobody was exempt.
And there wasn't any of this Big Brother house business. So it was a full, real Fear Factor episode. A lot of fun. I think it's the best episode of the season so far. And it's too bad that this isn't more of what they do. Like, I think what's interesting, too, is the fact that after all that fluff and that filler was showing the contestants in the house, it really didn't matter, because the decisions that they made in this episode, they acted like they a lot of them didn't even know each other, or they just acted like it's all fair game. Whereas in all the past episodes this season, you've had the guys being like, oh no, you can't nominate any of the girls to do a challenge and stuff like that. And in this episode, it's like a free-for-all, and it's like how it should be. And so I wish that they could have the house element while also having the free-for-all part of it, because it feels like the only way they were able to have a free-for-all is just not letting them go back to the house and for all of them to have to participate. And it was really good, though. I liked it a lot.
Okay, well, the setup is, the first thing is they have these, they call them Fear Factor coins. And it's a big piece of yellow circular plastic. That's, I don't know what, it's the size of like a dessert plate. And what they do is they bid. So they have these pain things that they'll have to do. So the first thing that's bid on is putting your hands on these, there's these two like rods, and they're connected to an electric current, and they can regulate the electric current up from 30 to 100. 100 will be the maximum. And you have to hold your hands on these rods for 10 whole seconds at 100 volts. So what they had to do was they bid on if they could handle it. And so the person who got the highest bid would be the one to do the challenge.
Uh-oh.
And if they could do it for 10...
Safi didn't understand how the auction worked. Uh-oh.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Safi.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to explain. See, this is why Safi's review
just
style,
not going to do this anymore.
it just doesn't work, because a lot of the time she gets the details wrong, like CNN. So, the way that the auction works is that they started off at 50 volts.
No,
So,
they didn't.
Yeah,
They started at 30, and I wrote it down.
Okay, 30. But they did that, and then everyone like put a thing up if they could handle that, and they kept increasing the voltage until one person was left. So that's the way that it works, is that it increases. The amount of things that you have to do increase each time, the bid gets higher. And so it ends up to where I think that the big problem with this episode, or not with the episode, but with the whole challenge, was the fact that like they really underestimated how hard some of these would be. And so they would just be like, oh yeah, I could do that. And a lot of these pain challenges, they kept on increasing. And it's like, ugh.
Well, the gay guy, he sat back.
Who?
And I can't think of his name. He refused to bid
Okay.
because he's an AP physics, chemistry, science teacher, and he says, I know what 100 volts is, and it's a lot, and I'm not going to do it. And so he didn't really say that in front of everybody, but he kept it to himself. But so he just sat back and he said, well, they can go ahead and, be my guest. And anyway, ended it up that Ethan, the Machiavelli guy, he bid on 100 volts for 10 seconds.
The dumb jock. And now here's the thing. That was actually pretty funny, because back in high school we had I had biology class one year where there was a dumb jock who, like, he was like a wrestling jock, so he was really skinny and he was retarded, and he was really, really dumb. I mean, he said that he shouldn't have to worry about getting good grades because he's going to join the military and it won't matter.
Oh my god!
And so,
That's not true.
but he was really, really bad. He was probably the stupidest person I went to school with. That was like a guy. In terms of the girls, there were a lot dumber people. But that one time, I don't know like why I can't remember if the teacher gave it to them or him or he had it himself. The teacher gave him some sort of like an electric, like a muscle stimulation machine thing, and he kept on like playing with it, and he kept on electrocuting himself like all over and like trying to show off and trying to play around of like, look at me, like, and he's electrocuting himself over and over again for like the whole class period. And so it really didn't surprise me that the dumb jock in Fear Factor also wanted to, get shocked like a cattle, like a cow, Right, Safi? What do you think of that?
It's hard to tell what's going on. I mean, he's holding on to these two poles, metal poles, and they show the machine working, and he's in terrible pain. And they start at 30, and they increase it up and up just so he can get used to it, so to speak. And it's hard to tell how you can see how much pain he's in, but the way it looks, you don't see that connection. You just see him.
Yeah.
And it's like he could be holding on to nothing. I mean, we'd never know, but no, he was. And he said he did it, what he was supposed to do. He did 100 volts for 10 seconds. And he could hardly, his arms were funny. He couldn't, I remember he tried to give them the coin because, like, if they win the bid, if they manage to do what they're supposed to do, they get this big yellow plastic chip. And he could hardly. What did he do? It doesn't matter. Maybe he put it in his mouth. I don't know. He could hardly. His arms were like glued to his sides or something. He was just in. He just didn't want to move. Like he just wanted to sit down. Yeah, he was miserable.
It was pretty funny because he screamed. He was screaming so much it sounded like he was getting diddied.
Well, he sounded like he was getting tortured, and I could imagine. They've shown. I majored in Latin American studies. I read a lot about different Latin American countries and. The ones, Chile, that had these torture, they did this electric cattle prodders, and it just reminded me of that. Like he was tortured, and he sounded terrible. He screamed in a holy terror. So the next, but he sat down, but I mean, and everybody was affected. I mean, it's not like just because they didn't do it, they weren't affected. Everybody was affected. They were kind of like, they hid behind their hands. Nobody laughed and thought it was funny.
Johnny Knoxville laughed because he's the host.
But the
people,
I think they did not think it was funny.
I think I would have loved to have heard, because it felt like the whole episode that Johnny was just kind of doing the script. I would have liked to have heard like his genuine thoughts about these challenges of like, oh, this isn't that bad, or I would never have been able to do that. Like, he made a couple of comments in the last episode, I think. Or no. He talked about the water challenge later on in this episode, but like I would have liked to have heard more from him. Because you could just imagine, like, he has this whole persona on, like, oh, yeah, this is really fun. You ready to get your fingers cut off?
Well, but the thing is, on the previous episodes, when people did a certain challenge, some of them just kind of sat back and laughed and were real relaxed, but nobody was relaxed. Everybody was terrified.
They actually had to participate, in the Fear Factor show, and Safi and I were joking around, like, could you imagine if Damien was there?
I just couldn't see it.
She would be like, oh my God! oh my God! Oh my
They
God!
would have all gotten rid of her physically, removed her because she would have driven him crazy with "Oh my God." Okay, well the next thing they bid on was having hot melted wax poured on different parts of your body, and I'm sure if any of you have ever, lit a candle and it's the candle wax spilled out, you've gotten some on your hand or whatever. So you might have have a taste of what that would be like. So Blake, who is the gay guy, I apologize, he decided to do that. And
well, I want to say that's not that bad, honestly. That's an S&M type of thing anyway. So I really don't. I mean, I would have easily volunteered to do that. I mean, rather than any of the other challenges that they had to do. I think that was the best one.
Yeah, well, it's still pain, though. It just may not be as intense as the previous one. So he revealed that he said, I'm not gonna, make the big deal out of this because I don't want my students to see me say or do something that's really negative. So,
no, Safi, he just said he wouldn't curse.
Oh, is that what he said?
He wouldn't say a swear word.
So he further emphasized that he is a teacher in high school.
I told you.
And so I thought that was interesting. And they poured, and actually Johnny, the host, poured the hot wax on him. He poured it on each of his arms, his legs, and his belly.
And a nipple.
Yeah, and so he had shorts on, and then he had to strip down, no shirt or anything like that.
I thought that was fun. I think that Johnny and him would make a good couple.
Oh God. And so anyway,
just kidding.
He he was able. It was it was just, I don't know how many times it was, but just all those different parts had to be dripped with hot wax before it was over. And he withstood it all.
All right, so
he
now
won his challenge.
Moving on. So
moving on.
The next one was the hot pepper, and basically this one was one of the ones that they really, really underestimated because they got up to 5 habanero peppers, and I've had, from Buffalo Wild Wings, I've had the mango habanero sauce, and even that was too spicy for me. However, I did manage to eat, if you guys want to check out, we did a binge of American Horror Story Season 1 in 2021, I believe, and I ate 10 California Reaper wings from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, God.
They were actually pretty good.
Well,
but, so the girl who got it was the blonde.
She's Chelsea.
And she ate 5.
And you couldn't tell it. They even bothered her. She didn't act like they really bothered her. She crunched them all, chewed them up really fast. But the thing is, this is when the afterword comes into play.
This is why this whole show so far, I guess, they did not want the women to do the challenges, because here you have Chelsea. She thought, oh yeah, 5 habanero peppers is going to be really easy. Barely an inconvenience. And she goes up there and she's like, oh shit. And she practically, she goes over to puke, and then she just falls over and collapses, and the medics all got to carry her out. They got to take her out into the ambulance, and they got to talk to her like, what's going on? She's like, everything hurts. I can't move.
She was in pain, severe pain. She just crunched them right down. It didn't even look like it affected her. And at the end of it, they gave her milk, and she just poured. And that's when you could tell she was like, on fire.
It's like in a cartoon where, they eat like a pepper, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm okay, and then they got the steam coming out of their ears and their faces are red. Like, that's what she was like.
And she was in severe pain.
Something that I'd like to know is, and I don't want to know like the whole details, but like, they probably had to monitor her after the challenge was over.
They were
for the bathroom.
They were monitoring her
because I still remember. I mean, when you eat really, really spicy food, that's one of the biggest issues is the afterward part, because it's not fun.
But when she was doing it, you could tell that it was going to bother her, and so you thought, wow, that's funny. Pretty cool.
I thought, does she have this hidden talent she had the whole time? No.
She collapsed, though.
She was trying.
And doubled over in pain.
Yeah.
So it was the after of that. Okay, well, the next one is the flight attendant. And I'd say this is probably the easiest.
I'd say the hot wax is easier.
I don't know, but he had to lick a bug zapper. Now, the only time I've ever seen these is in Tanzania, in East Africa, because of the flies. And but this was like, these were plastic, big plastic pieces, and they had holes, and then he had to lick them. Let's see, how many times did I put? Well, anyway, I didn't put, but he had to lick them like 10, 12 times, 13 times. And when he would do that, his tongue would get zapped.
Yeah.
And so there were several of them. It was like a big wreath of bug zappers. And then the last one, Johnny did it too. So it didn't seem to be too problematic.
Johnny looked at like 1,000,000 times.
And I thought it was unsanitary.
I thought that was funny.
I didn't like it.
Well, number one, I'd like to say, one of the things I also liked about this episode is that it was nice to see everyone participating.
Yeah.
Because it felt
That's what it's about.
It felt like they were actually earning their places to be on the show. Like, you have a whole new respect for even the worst contestants. Because at least they did stuff. At least they had to do stuff that was really hard. They weren't just standing on the sidelines going like, oh my God! Oh my God! And the second thing is Safi lied. She has seen a bug zapper before at a wedding where I was a ring bearer for, and they had a bug zapper on a porch,
but I rarely
and there were bugs all over the porch because they were getting zapped in the zapper. So remember that, Safi?
They actually say they attract bugs. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know,
but I rarely see them. I mean, in Tanzania, you saw every restaurant, everybody had a bug zapper, but they were dirty and they're ew.
What we prefer to do is we get those strips where you can hang them. And they have the sticky stuff on them because that's a lot easier to do, and it's less gross, Because we have fly problems in the summer sometimes, and yeah. So the next up is
Rob.
Are you sure? Oh yeah, the water challenge. They called that like the brain freeze challenge, where you have to have your head in a tank, and you have a snorkel on. And they pour ice water all over your head and submerge you. You have to sit there for 5 minutes.
It's 33 degrees, the water. And he can breathe.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was another one that wasn't, it's cold and miserable.
Well, I don't know.
But he did it.
They didn't really explain, they said brain freeze challenge, but I didn't even hear Rob talk about, I really felt something there. It just kind of seemed like, the water's cold.
It seemed like it was ice. I think it had ice cubes in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it did. It just didn't seem, compared to getting electrocuted.
Well, the last
100
challenge,
volts,
of course.
And then
the second
this
to
is
last.
next to the last.
The second to last challenge is the worst one.
It was so awful.
You have to get needles stuck inside of your arm.
13
And no, Safi, let's gear up to that, because this was another one where they underestimated it, and they've got all the way up to 13 needles. And Dada was the one who got the needles, and he he started crying, and there was blood dripping down his arms.
The thing is about these needles, they're not those therapy that you get with those very thin, very wiry needles. Acupuncture, these were not acupuncture needles. These were like, you know what, like a ballpoint pen, the metal, a rod of the pen with the ink in it. You know how thick they are. They were that thick.
Yeah.
Very thick needles.
Yeah.
And they put them in his arm, 13. And then, when he was done, he did it. He was successful. They have to take them out. So it's like a double torture.
They slid right out.
And he was bleeding all over the place.
That was really, really bad.
He was in terrible pain, and everybody was just cringing.
That was like Saw. That was like out of a Saw movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should do that one again.
No, I don't either.
That was like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, this is a little too far. And that's what I was saying, like, what did Johnny think about that? And also, Safi, you're not taking into account, they edited this.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even in real time. That wasn't even, like, just imagine, like, you're sitting there in real time watching or experiencing that, and, you know.
But you watch this, and even if you're at home, like we were, I thought it was, I mean, my stomach was turning up and down and all around.
Yeah.
And the people there, the other contestants, they were just about ready to pass out. I mean, they were like a disastrous mess. And that poor guy, I mean, I have not liked his behavior.
No, I didn't like him either.
He's very full of it, but he was miserable and suffering. So, and if that kind of a thing, it's a double torture. Because not only you put him in, you have to pull him out, too. So, God, it was horrible.
And what was worse was the guy who was doing it, he's probably an okay person, but he looked like a demon or something. Like they had this needle expert, and he looked like a demon from a Simpsons episode or something, and he comes on and he's like, "Hey, I'm the needle guy." And he walks on screen and he's just like, he's sticking them in. It's like, oh my God.
Okay, so now they have one more torture.
Now this one was another kind of easier one to me. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with it, which is you have to get bitten by a snake, and Danielle, who of course is Zach's best friend on the show, which she also seems like she's pretty good.
She's a scientist.
Safi, you've said that every single review.
Okay, Mark, I'm just bringing it up, you know.
You like science, Safi?
Yeah, I do. Anyway.
When are you going to be a scientist?
Be quiet. So what's the last?
She got 5 snake bites, and I thought it was really sad because it seemed like Zach really needed to get a coin. Zach and Jaylene and Danielle did not have one, and Danielle won. She got the 5 snake bites, and it didn't seem like it was terrible. I mean, you know, I've gotten bitten by Bernie, the cat, who's sitting right across from this phone while we're doing a review, and he's just like, "Ugh, Marco's doing a review." But it didn't really bother me that much, so, you know. But it might be something that is worse than it looks, so.
Okay, so then we come up, now, we knew, and he said it more than once, that there weren't enough coins for the amount of people that needed one. So the people who were left that have to compete now, because they didn't do any challenge, they didn't bid, was Jaylene, that's the pretty girl of the pretty couple, Rob and Jaylene, and then Zachary.
Zachary.
Okay? Now, the thing is, I didn't write down all the, because it was so gross, this part made my stomach want to irk.
I can recite them from memory.
Well, that's good, because I had just eaten lunch,
okay,
and I almost threw up.
I am
It
a
was
master.
awful.
I am a master
So, okay,
of
so
memory.
everybody
So
had
number one, number one, you have rotten eggs. Number two, you have vomit fruit. Number three, there was one with mice in it.
nice tails.
Number four was scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Number five was
Fish
some
eyes.
sort of fish eyes, but then there was one that was like fermented fish.
Eel. Or no. It was herring.
Fermented herring. I would have done that one.
Oh,
and then
God.
maybe. And then
the last one is pig snout.
no, that was the evil pie. That wasn't one of the main ones though. Cuz what happened was everyone had to pick out their own slice of pie from those main pies. I think there was one last one, I can't remember it. It was the one that Danielle got. It had some green in it too. I can't remember what it was, but
But the thing is, if you have a coin, you had to have one piece of pie. But if you had no coin,
yeah.
you had to have two.
Yeah.
Okay? So then the other thing would be the person who had the coin. I mean, everybody had to have, there's nobody who is exempt from having even, the one is the minimum. So there's no person who's exempt. Everybody has to eat one of these gross, disgusting slices of pie.
Which I thought was a good thing.
Yes, I do too. And so, but the people with the coins had the option of giving their coin to somebody to make them eat an extra piece of pie.
Yeah.
So what do you think now? After all these weeks of this BS with Zach,
And that's when they brought out the pig snout pie, by the way.
and you think, oh, and he's thinking it too. They're going to give him all. They're going to give him. Everybody's going to give him that coin. But guess what? They surprised us.
Yeah.
Because they turned on each other.
That was so funny.
And he didn't get any extra pie.
That was amazing.
Just the two.
That was so funny.
That was, I couldn't believe it.
Because it was like, finally, these people are seeing each other as competitors.
That's right.
And not as contestants on a Big Brother season.
We're only going to have one winner.
See, I do think, though, they kind of messed up. Everyone who had a coin messed up. Because what I would have done is I would have said, okay, we all need to add our coins together and take out one person. Because if everyone who had a coin, or at least almost everyone, maybe they wanted to take someone out who had a coin, if everyone who had one except for one, gave a piece of pie to one person, that person would have to eat an entire pie. And you know as well as I do, even though it's Fear Factor, nobody would have been able to do that. So they missed the chance to work together and use all their coins and just take one person out.
Which is kind of surprising.
That's what I would have done. It wouldn't have been Zach, though. I would have taken out the flight attendant because I can't stand him. And but he did get, I think he got like 2 extra pieces or something. So,
yeah, he did.
Because it's kind of complicated. Like, at first...
well, let's just say
remember.
the woman who ate all the peppers, she's still suffering.
She gave no one anything.
She didn't give anybody anything. I think because
she pussied out.
I think. Oh Jesus Christ!
It's true.
I think she had just been dealt and was miserable with what happened. She wasn't going to do it again. She ate her. Let's see. Everybody ate their pie.
Yeah.
There was only 2 people left. Now this is after all. Everybody. You'll have to watch it to see. They picked, for instance, the pretty girl. I think she got 2 extra pieces of pie.
She did. She got 2 pieces of pig snout pie.
And she's a vegan, and that was bad. And she was.
But she
also
also
on about it to everybody, so she's revealed her weakness.
You're missing the fact that she also gave herself scorpion pie. So she picked that for herself, and then she got pig snout as well. And then in retaliation for that, Rob gave a piece of pie to the flight attendant. And then Blake, he got fish eye pie for himself. And then I can't remember who he gave pie to. It might have been Dada. And then Dada gave a piece of pie to the flight attendant. I can't remember. I can't remember all the different.
Turning on each other.
Yeah.
I'd say that was the best part of it, because Zach was like, "What the f is going on here?" Because I thought I was going to get all those.
They're all so unlikable for the most part, and it's like, yeah, it's nice to see them just eat each other alive.
Yeah.
While Zach is just sitting back, like, yeah, screw you guys. But Zach, unfortunately, he made the mistake of picking, in my opinion, what is probably one of the worst pies, which was the vomit fruit. And see, it's literally called the vomit fruit pie. Like, there's vomit in the title. So, I would never have picked that. But, Zach, and so I think Zach should have picked something else.
So anyway, it's between him and the flight attendant.
Yeah, and I really hope that Zach wins, because
it's very close.
It would be such a huge disappointment if the flight attendant stayed, but then Zach went home. I mean, ugh.
And the thing is, it's just like before. The one who eats it all first wins. So we'll see what happens, because they do not complete it. This episode, you have to see it for yourself the next episode.
They left it on a cliffhanger, is what she's saying.
And they haven't done that this season before. So I thought that was interesting. So that's it.
So overall, I give the episode an A. I thought it was a great episode of TV.
Yeah, I would too, but I mean, it's not, I don't think, if you do watch it, don't eat and then watch it, because it's a mistake. Because, I mean, they were just, and they've been acting so mean girlish and cliquey and, really queer stuff. I don't like it. But now this episode where they were really suffering with some of these challenges, and their empathy came out, which I was glad to see. And, they did he got called out for it. I don't know who did. Was it Ethan, the Machiavelli guy, gave a piece of pie to... They all gave pieces of pie to somebody except for the blonde girl. She didn't. She had wanted chip.
Oh, I think that he
didn't give her
I think that he gave a piece to Jaylene.
Okay, well, so...
And it's like, look.
But somebody said, who did he say it himself? I'm doing this for Mama, whatever.
No, he gave it to Blake then, because
this was episodes ago. Episodes 3.
It was
second episode of the show, I think.
He's getting revenge for that random mom who went home who did the dishes for him,
which is queer.
And Blake,
stupid.
And Blake was like, "Okay, idiot."
Yeah, really.
Dumb jock. I mean,
that was dumb.
The Machiavelli tactics, they went out the window already. So how good could they possibly be originally? Because like, what happened to that? I thought that he was like a politician, and he was like, outsmarting the show. It all kind of went out the window when he got diddied at the shock thing, grabbing the joysticks, and he's like, ooh. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So, but I'm commenting on the show. So anyways, we have one last order of business. Safi, she's been very bad with her reviewing. No, I'm just kidding. We have one last thing, is that I've tried to record this video twice, and so Safi and I will briefly discuss it, and then maybe if anyone in the comments wants to give their opinion. I recently did my top 10 worst movies video, but after I did it, I realized that there were even more bad movies that deserve to be talked about. So I was thinking of either doing another worst movies video, in addition to also doing a top 10 best movies video, or adding them together. And I even came up with like a funny idea where instead of being quote unquote negative, I would pretend to be really positive about all these bad movies. And so I said all these things, and I already tried a recording. It was pretty funny, but then I was kind of like, okay, where's this going? And so, Safi, what do you think?
I don't know.
Because Safi's going to be included. She's going to help out. What do you think, Safi?
I guess that's funny because if you hate something so much because it's so bad and you're trying to make it a positive, you're going to have to really make yourself into a pretzel to do it.
I came up with some really good defenses, and it's sad because I deleted the video, but it was really, really funny. And so I think maybe that's what I should do. But should I separate that? Should I do a second video that's like also like the worst movies? Or should I do it all in one? Because the reason why I felt bad was because I took like 20 to 30 minutes to talk about these other bad movies. And then I took 15 minutes at the end to do the best movies. So what do you think, Safi? You paying attention?
Yeah, I am. I don't know. I think you should try it to see.
What do you mean?
I just try to do it.
Should I separate it, or should it all be in one video? The top 10 best and then all the other bad movies.
No, I think you should separate it.
Okay. Well, then that's what I'll do. And Safi will be here to witness me finally be positive on the channel after all these years. I'm seeing the good in Megan 2.0 and, you know, VHS Halloween and Lilo and Stitch and all that. You excited, Safi?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can't wait to see you turn yourself into a pretzel.
And see, what I want Safi to do, too, is I want Safi to be the negative one in the video. I want her to like, try to fight back with some of the defenses that I give and just, you know, try to attack me. Because then it'll be like roles in reverse. It'll be like opposite day.
Nah.
So that's it.
Okay. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers. And like and share and
you already said like.
say and
comment.
Also comment.
Yeah.
If you're watching Fear Factor House of Fear, what did you think of this episode? And like I said, don't watch it. Don't eat and then watch it, because you'll be sick. You could probably throw up all over. Because Jaylene, the pretty girl of the pretty couple, we didn't tell you this rule. Each of them had a puke bucket. Oh God, it's so gross to think about this. And if they did that, they had to eat another piece of pie.
Yeah.
They had to give them another one, and they had to start all over.
Some of them were puking on their plates
On
and
their
then eating.
plates. Oh God.
Yeah.
God, it was awful.
It's whatever. I mean, they're just boot and rallying. So, and then also, Safi forgot, but you should go to our Patreon page if you want to support our channel further, because that is where you will get access to all of the full unedited spoiler movie reviews, tons of bonus content, my short film, and you'll be a part of the cool club. So
that's it. So goodbye, everybody.
bye.